Alright guys, Clutch Society back here. It's just gonna be me today. I am working on a kind of secret project. I bought this 2000 Honda for about $1,000 and we are going to clean it up and make it look nice and hopefully keep it mostly all stock, and we will do some aftermarket kind of parts, but for the most part right now all we're gonna do is change out the valve cover and change out the oil pan gasket, and after that we will have to keep on putting in more money and more time. But right now let's check out the car. This is the valve cover gasket. So you got your 4 spark plug gaskets, and then you got your actual bolts, the gasket that goes to the bolts. You got 4 of those as well, and then you got the actual gasket. So let's put that on. Trying to get is stuff like this stuff right here, all that stuff. We want to get all that off from around the entire valve cover, so when the new seal gets put on we have a good seal. Let me know down in the comments what you guys like to listen to whenever you're working on something. I like listening to mostly rock, Spanish rock, but that's because, you know, I have that aesthetic. But yeah, just let me know, you guys. I really want to know. what do you guys listen to when you're working on a car or working out or anything? Alright, so now let's go watch the valve cover. This side, look at the side that I haven't cleaned. Alright, so now what we gotta do is we gotta take off these O-rings right here and replace them with the new ones. But since this hasn't been changed in forever, it's gonna be a little bit harder than we expected it to be. So let's try to get these things out. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this screwdriver and I'm gonna just try to pry this as much as I can without trying to gouge the actual metal, because if you gouge it, then you're gonna have consistent leaks. So I'm just gonna do that real quick. Screwdriver didn't work. I had to get this 90-degree angle bent pliers. So I'm trying to get right here in between that little notch, twist it, and it should bend, and they come out looking like that. That's how old they are, so they need to be changed. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's what you don't want right there. I gouged it a little bit, so we are gonna have to just put a little bit of silicone on that, some gasket resistant silicone, and we should be all right. But they're all off. That last one was a little bit harder than the other ones, but we're all right. So whenever you're gonna put this back in, you gotta make sure that these seals go in the right way. So you have to make sure that the cone part right here, so whenever you go to put it into the actual spark plug holes, it needs to cup it. So this will need to be facing upwards. It'll be looking a little bit like that. We're gonna go ahead and put all them back, and we're gonna do the same sealant right here, and we're gonna put a little bit of gasket maker here on these four corners, just so it sits right and it doesn't leak in or out. So we just finished the valve cover, so let's check it out. It looks a lot better and a lot cleaner now. So we had to get these new gasket for the actual bolts that hold it down. So they're basically kind of like washers, but you don't want to over tighten them, but just snugged enough for the whole seal to sit down, so then you have no leaks. So yeah, that's one job done. Now let's get underneath it and change the oil and do the oil pan gasket. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is pretty oiled up down here. So we're gonna go ahead and just change all of this out, and a little bit of cobwebs here, so we have some friends. Ow. Hard. On there. Okay, so I kind of skipped ahead and I took off the oil pan. So basically what you got to do is you got to take off a bracket that goes from the transmission to the engine, and there's a plate that hides the actual flywheel, and you got to take that off to get to all the bolts, nuts and bolts. You can see I got right here all my nuts and bolts right here. Got this pan right here just to make sure it doesn't leak onto the floor. Let me just say this, guys. Change your oil pan gasket, please, because it was hard to take off. Basically what I had to do was wire brush and an air gun and kind of like just go all the way across. You can see here where I kind of went a little too deep, and then some other places where it just kind of just took off the paint. So do me a favor and change your oil pan gasket. Yeah, because it's hard to change if you leave them on there for too long. So yeah, let's just put it all back together and we'll go from there. All right guys, so the oil pan is back on, the seal is on there. So we had to take off this part of the exhaust and this bracket right here. That's what I'm talking about. That had to come off. It was a 14 and a 10. No, excuse me. It was a 12 and a 10, and then 10's right there. And no, 12's right there. And everything else on the actual oil pan was a 10 millimeter. And the bolts for the exhaust were a 15, 3 right there, and 2 12s right here, and a 14 and a 12. 14 on the back and 12 on the front. But we put anti-seize on everything, so it won't seize up whenever we try to take this off again, and we try to put an aftermarket exhaust. And we cleaned up everything. As you can see, That's really dirty, that's really clean, so I'm happy about that. We're gonna do an engine detail in the next video. So yeah, let's get it down and put oil in it. Hello everybody, thank you for coming to this video and watching it. That's it for today. We did the, like I said, we did the valve cover and we did the oil pan gasket. It's been a long day and I'm tired and I want to go home and eat. So thank you for coming, thank you for enjoying the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.